Can we get a bit louder, please, producer Jeremy? Saturday night Glastonbury Pyramid Stage. Here we go.
There's nowhere on earth you'd rather be less than there.
It's an absolute disgrace.
I'm happy to say Glastonbury in general is not my favourite place. I think Coldplay are legendary. They got some absolute banging tunes, feel-good tunes. They're amazing live in concert. I've seen them at Wembley. What's your problem with Coldplay, Rory?
I think that, you know that quote about Coldplay? Coldplay is music for people who don't like music.
What's that supposed to mean?
I think it's
what
perfect.
What does that even mean?
It's perfect for people, like when you think of the opportunities that you have. You know, when you plug in to listen to some music, all of the amazing artists that have existed, like, how can that be the go-to? Like, you know, Prince has existed.
I'm aware of that.
And yet, you people would actually press play on a Coldplay song.
This tune, Sky Full of Stars, they're feel-good, happy songs. You go watch them in
Sky Full of Stars.
Jeremy, next break, please. Do you know what? We're going to end the show on Sky Full of Stars at 4:57. Come on, guys. What is your hatred for Coldplay? Absolutely bang out of order, Rory.
So average.
Do you think?
So poor, yeah.
What is your, then, right now in the charts, what's your favourite sort of music to
in
listen
the
to?
charts? I don't think I've listened to a song that was recorded this side of 1998.
All right, so you're everything about you is old school.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of a modern day. Like, I don't know any
Ed Sheeran, that sort of stuff.
No, I wouldn't know an Ed Sheeran song. I don't think. I wouldn't know like
Stormzy,
I wouldn't know a Harry
music?
Childs song. I wouldn't know a Stormzy song.
Harry who? Harry,
the fella from One Direction.
I think he got his name wrong.
Harry Childs.
It's not even his name. You're joking, aren't you?
No, what is it?
It's not Harry
I think
Childs.
it is.
I know it's not.
Zayn? There is a Harry. There's
An
100% a Harry.
So there's a Zayn. Harry is Harry Styles, not Harry.
Harry Styles.
Harry Childs.
Oh, I went to school with a Harry Childs.
I really hope Harry Charles is listening to this afternoon. That's my mate Rory Jennings talking about me on the radio.
I haven't seen him for a long time, but no, I just Coldplay just not for me at all. And the idea of seeing them at Glastonbury, painful, agonising.
What would be the worst bit about it? Watching Coldplay or the walk back to the tent or the people lobbing their beer
being surrounded by other people at Glastonbury, I think, would be the major
singing
issue.
Coldplay songs, right?
Yeah, no, the whole thing would just doesn't appeal on any level.
Do you like cricket out of interest?
Yeah, so, I mean, superficially. I mean, I keep an eye on the Ashes. I keep an eye on the World Cup.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Well, England's World Cup semi-final against India. Some good news. The toss has just happened. Play set to start in half an hour's time. England have won the toss, and they are going to have a bowl. So that's good news. The rain is staying away. And yeah, it's I believe it's still going to be 20 overs. England won the toss, decided to field, play underway in around half an hour's time. Rory Jennings, let's now talk all things Chelsea, shall we? Enzo Maresca, we know, is the new manager, no longer Maurizio Pochettino. What is the top priority for Chelsea this summer in terms of recruitment?
Get a new manager.
Sack Maresca, get someone new in.
No, obviously I'm being facetious. I like the idea of Enzo Maresca. I really hope it works. Obviously, Chelsea have a great tradition of employing Italian managers and winning silverware with Italian managers. So I'm all for it, but I must be completely honest. It would be foolish for me to now try and pretend that I was always supportive of this appointment. I don't think.
Who did you want out of interest? Who was your preferred choice this time?
I wanted somebody that had won the Champions League. I wanted somebody. I felt like Chelsea are in a situation at the moment where we need proven. You know, we've tried a lot of experimental managers. We've tried a lot of noble, progressive appointments that are great in terms of what they represent, but have actually been like woeful in terms of what they've done for the club. So I felt what we needed was a strictly top tier appointment. No negotiation around it. You know, there's no jeopardy
many out
around
there
it.
though. Do you think?
Yeah, I think there's plenty. You know, if you've won the European Cup, I think you deserved an interview. Whether that was Luis Enrique or whether that was Jose Mourinho or whoever you thought that could be, I think it needed to be somebody. Because whatever you think of Enzo Maresca, whether you're a disciple of his, whether you think that he is correct for the job, or whether you're fairly underwhelmed by him, there is jeopardy, and it may not work. And if you look at the track record so far, ultimately, I think we've appointed him because of his association with Pep Guardiola.
Yeah, if there's anyone now that has any association with Pep, they kind of go right to the top of the queue, don't they? In terms of being the next manager. So it is Maresca. Come on then, on the pitch, what's the priority? What do Chelsea need, Rory? What's the number one thing on Rory Jennings' summer transfer shopping list?
I mean, it's so clear, isn't it, that it's a goal scorer. I mean, we're so lacking in that department. We have a lot of creative players. We have players that can make chances. and we have nobody who can finish them. I think Nicholas Jackson's a good footballer, by the way. I really do. I think that he's harshly treated and maligned in a way that isn't just. But he has one fairly average attribute, and that is finishing. He's playing centre forward. Like, you can, if you want to utilise Nicholas Jackson, there's a world in which he can contribute massively to Chelsea's season. Overall, he can be a very good player for Chelsea next season, but not if you're relying on him to score goals, because he misses. He doesn't just miss chances or good
sitters, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
a bit like Nunez, very similar to Nunez.
It's chances, right? Yeah, it's chances where you kind of look at the situation and you think very average Premier League strikers over the years score that. You know, it's one of those situations where you're like, players who were deemed not particularly good over the years, whoever you're thinking of here, would score the chances fairly easily that he misses.
But you think he's worth persevering with? You think you've seen enough in him, enough quality in him to say, do you know what, young, raw, he's going to get better. He'll be more clinical.
He's
next
a very
season.
good footballer, and he may become more clinical. He may find that side to his game. But if you can ask him, if Nicholas Jackson can play for Chelsea and not have the pressure of being Chelsea's goal scorer on his shoulders, I think he'll be a good player.
Yeah.
And I think he will score goals. But what he won't do, he's not going to finish next season with 22 in the Premier League. Like, that's impossible. But what he could do is have a very reputable 11.
And also, someone that you shouldn't forget is Nkunku, who's at the football club, who barely kicked a ball last season, right? Fingers crossed he can stay fit. And then it'd be interesting to see how he utilises him in the squad.
That's interesting you bring that up, Sam, because, you know, when you said what are Chelsea's priorities next season, what does Maresca have to do?
Keeping players fit.
Yeah, I actually think so. I think what he needs to do is have a look at what's going on, because our injury haul last year...
Woeful.
It doesn't make sense. Just doesn't make sense. We had a first 11 out all season. We had players coming back from an injury, and then they were immediately injured in the injury that they just came back from. So I think that Enzo Maresca, as much as he has to worry about a lot of things, I think he could have a look at that and genuinely devote some of his time to looking at why we have so many issues, why so many of our better players are on the treatment table for such significant periods of time.
Where's Conor Gallagher playing this football next season, Rory? How's the situation going to pan out, do you think, this summer?
I think he leaves. I don't think he should leave. I think Chelsea looked better with him in the team. He played more minutes for Mauricio Pochettino than any other Chelsea player. I think Enzo Fernandez hasn't really worked. Moises Caicedo looks a better player with Conor Gallagher around him than he ever did, in fact, with Enzo Fernandez there. So I think he should be playing for Chelsea. Whatever you think of my opinion, and whatever limitations I think Mauricio Pochettino has, both as a manager and as a player's coach, Mauricio Pochettino is probably in the top 15 managers in world football. I don't think that's good enough for Chelsea, and I wasn't particularly shedding any tears when he was sacked. But he knows football. The fact that Mauricio Pochettino chose Conor Gallagher to feature for him more so than he did any other player at the club last season tells you all you need to know about where Chelsea are with regards to Conor Gallagher. And the fact that the board seemed desperate to sell him, I mean, it's a travesty, isn't it? He's a Chelsea captain. Like, nothing screams panic about your FFP issues than trying to sell your club captain to Tottenham for 50 million quid. So it is a worry, but realistically, he's going to leave Chelsea. I don't think there's really any debate around that.
Do you think, just out of interest, did you feel a bit sorry for him on Tuesday evening? Do you think he was made a little bit of a scapegoat?
No, I think he had a really bad game for England.
Do you think it was fair him being hooked at half time?
Yeah, he gave the ball away too often. I actually think Conor Gallagher playing for England in that circumstance was a mistake, because what Conor Gallagher excels at is when you don't have the ball. Yeah. So, when you're playing against a team who only want to sit back, they knew that a point would see them through, and they know they're not going to beat England. So they don't want the ball.
That's where you need a midfielder who's maybe got a little bit more guile.
Ingenuity.
So,
that's the Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Yeah, exactly.
Trent Alexander-Arnold isn't good at a lot of the things Conor Gallagher is. Trent Alexander-Arnold is obviously a better footballer than Gallagher. But what Gallagher excels at is what he does without the ball. England had the ball the whole game. And Conor Gallagher isn't very good on, gives the ball away, man. He's wasteful on the ball.
You mentioned the FFP and Chelsea selling Gallagher to raise some important funds. What have you made of kind of the transfer business that's been happening with Chelsea, Everton and Aston Villa? Obviously, there's some transfers that's kind of happening between the some of these clubs, and there's some talk, isn't there, that perhaps maybe some clubs are being clever in terms of selling homegrown players to other teams for maybe more money than what they're worth to help out with PSR and all that sort of stuff. Where do you stand on that? And do you think Chelsea could be involved in that? Yeah,
I mean, it's clear what's going on, and some would label it as being being clever, being cryptic, playing the system. Yeah. And I think there is something to be said for playing the system. The rules are there to be adhered to, and if you can get around rules by playing the system within the legal framework, then some would say that's fair play. What I think you're going to have to do with regards to this is there's a brilliant commentator on talkSPORT called Stefan Borson who breaks this down so well. I love listening to him. When he does the Simon Jordan show, brilliant. Yeah, he's truly brilliant. But from my very limited understanding of this, like I'm a football fan. I like talking about, is Conor Gallagher good enough to play for Chelsea? I don't have any understanding of these financial situations. But from my total layman situation and outlook, this to me looks bent. This to me looks like a play in the system. We're all going to pay overinflated fees for players that are worth nothing like that, and we're all going to scratch each other's back, and ultimately we're going to... Which
and it'll be fascinating to see.
Well, it makes a mockery of the rules. If you can do that and get away with it, let's just scrap PSR rules altogether. Yeah. Because they're not fit for purpose, are they?
Yeah. If you're absolutely right.
If I can just tell you give me an inflated rate for this player, and I'll tell you what, I'll do the same to you. The rules aren't fit for purpose.
Yeah, because you're going to keep on doing that, aren't you, until you're in the right framework, right?
Also, you're never going to fall short of it.
Yeah.
Because I'll give you.
You always know you can send a player to
I'll give you
club,
£50 million, and you give me £50 million.
Yeah, well said.
And we're both a winner, and the player will never play for the first team.
Final question on Chelsea: is next season, is first season under Maresca? Is it about just getting yourself back into the top four? Would that be a good first step?
Oh my God, that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jesus, Sam. I mean, I didn't think you were going to say that. Chelsea in the top four. I bite your hand off now.
Yeah, take it.
I bite your hand off now. What I actually think is, if we can be in the top six.
Well, yeah.
I'd even accept top half, but win a trophy. I think what Chelsea need more than anything is silverware. We've never gone 2 years without silverware, 2 consecutive years without silverware. And we've done that in the first 2 years of this new ownership. When I say never, I mean since 2004.
Of course.
So there is a generation of Chelsea fans. You can be 25 years old, and you can only know Chelsea as like a winning machine, a team that wins silverware at least every other year. We've now gone 2 years without it, and we're going into the third year under this new ownership. So silverware is my priority. But I think the vast majority of Chelsea fans, if you would speak to them, they would sacrifice silverware for top four.
Was ist das? talkSPORT?